Okay, now that you have pressed your shirt and are ready to iron on the transfer, go ahead and get your transfer out. You'll notice the way we have them labeled, we have the one that says press first. You can see that? And then we're going to have the one that says press second on this design. All of our transfers are going to come with these instructions, so you'll know exactly what to do. So go ahead and take off the plastic backing. You're just going to peel that off, and now you don't need this anymore. You're going to take your transfer. Now we already marked the center, so we know exactly where to go. So place the transfer onto the shirt where you want it, lining it up. Kind of the rule of thumb with crew necks, you're going to go about 2 inches down. V-necks, you're going to go about 1 inch down. So put the transfer on the shirt where you want it. Make sure it's straight. You can always use a ruler to make sure it's lining up right. Once you have the design where you want it on the shirt, you're going to get your protective cover and place over the design. Now remember, this can be parchment paper, a pressing cloth. This is a protective cover that we use for our heat press. So lay it over the design. You're going to get your iron, and you're going to start at the very end of your design. You're going to hold your iron down and hold in place for 10 to 12 seconds. You want to make sure when you're ironing that you're not moving your iron. You want to just put it right down on the design and hold in place. After 10 to 12 seconds, you're going to pick it up, you're going to move it over, and you're going to put it right back down and hold it in place. And you're going to repeat this process over the entire design. Okay, now that you've ironed on the design, you're going to go ahead and remove the protective cover. Now be careful, this plastic piece is going to be hot. So you're going to gently start removing this plastic piece. Now if any of this glitter is not staying onto the shirt, you need to lay this back down, place your protective cover back over it, and you're going to want to iron back over the design. So let's go ahead and move this. Gently peel it away. So far so good. Okay. Now you can go ahead and throw this piece away. Next we're going to get our rhinestones. Now as you can see, we have put press second on here, and they are in 2 rows right next to each other. Now what you're going to want to do is cut this apart. So get your scissors and you're just going to simply cut right down the middle of the 2 rhinestones. So now you're going to have 2 separate pieces of the rhinestones. So take your first one. You're going to remove it from the backing, so peel that off. Make sure to discard this white piece. You don't want to touch it with your iron because it will melt and it'll make a big mess, so throw that away. Now you're going to take your rhinestones and you're going to place them on the shirt where they belong. Just kind of eyeball it and make sure it looks straight. You can also measure it. Once you're happy with where they're at, you're just going to gently press them down. Now if you come across any rhinestones that you don't like or don't look good, you'll notice in your package that we sent you, we added a few extra rhinestones. So what you can do is you just peel up this sticky plastic and you're going to get your tweezers and you're going to remove the rhinestone, just peel it off, and then put the rhinestone that you want to replace it with, just put it on that plastic and put it back down. If any of the rhinestones moved during shipment, just get your rhinestones and you can just move, or your tweezers I mean, and you can just move the rhinestones where they go. Just make it look perfect for you. So once you're happy with it, just press it down. And we're going to repeat the same process with the second set of rhinestones that you cut. So peel this off. Throw away the white backing paper. And we're going to place this right on the bottom where it goes. So line it up. And when you're happy with the placement, you just want to gently press it down so it stays on the shirt. Again, double check the rhinestones, make sure they all look good, and you don't need to move any. And once you're happy with the placement, you're going to get your protective cover sheet and you're going to place on the entire design. And then we're going to iron again. So make sure, remember, when you're ironing, don't move your iron because it will move the rhinestones around. So take your iron, place it down, and hold it in place for 10 to 12 seconds. And you're going to repeat this process until you've ironed over all the rhinestones. So we're going to go ahead and iron and then we'll be right back. Okay, so after you've ironed on the rhinestones, you're going to remove your protective cover. And we're going to remove the plastic from the rhinestones. Now these are going to be hot, so be really careful. So you're going to gently pull the plastic. Now if any of the rhinestones aren't staying, push the plastic back down, put your protective cover back on, and iron over the rhinestones again. So we're going to gently pull this off. Now we can throw this away. Now we're going to come down here to the second one. And we're going to pull this one off. Looks perfect. So now what we want to do is we want to take our protective cover, we're going to place it back over the design, and we're going to iron over the entire design again for another 10 seconds. So take your iron, place it over the design, and you're going to hold in place for 10 seconds. So repeat this process on the entire design. We're going to go ahead and iron and then we'll be back. Once you have ironed over the design, remove the protective cover, and now everything should be adhered to the shirt. Our last step, turn your shirt wrong side out. Flatten it out. Take your protective cover and we're going to place it on the inside of the shirt. That's just going to keep any of the glue from going to the back of the shirt. Now we're going to iron on the back of the design, so make sure the back of the design is right here. So we're going to take our iron, we're going to place down on the design, and we're going to hold in place for about 5 seconds. So lift it up, move it over, and press back down. And you'll be able, depending on what kind of shirt you're using, most shirts you'll be able to kind of see through to see where your design is at. Okay, now you want to take your protective cover out of the middle. It might be a little warm, so be careful. We're going to turn the shirt right side out. And now your shirt is all finished. And as you can see, you have a beautiful, sparkly, custom bling shirt. Now that you're finished with the design, you're going to want to let it rest for 24 hours before you wash it or wear it. So just let it sit out, and that will give it time for the glue and everything to set up. And right before you wash it, you want to make sure that you look at it, make sure none of the edges or anything are wanting to come off. If any of the glitter or the rhinestones want to come off, or it just doesn't look like it's going to stay on correctly, go ahead and get your protective sheet again, place over the design, and iron over it again. And that will help to make sure that everything is going to stay on the shirt. So be sure to visit us again at allstarcustombling.com. We have new videos, new designs coming out all the time, and we're happy to answer any questions that you may have. And we'll see you next time.